of the people, 96.1 FM Abuja. And I am your sport bishop, your magistrate, pilot, your prophet, the professor, Nonso Renzechi. A lot of things happened in the last 24 hours. We're looking at the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria and how they fared in that game against the Eagles of Mali. We'd also touch down what's happening from the camp as well of the different teams that we're playing today in the Nigerian Women Football League. We're talking about match day 11 across different centers. As well, we'll be bringing you up to speed from the Miami Open, latest happening in tennis, and of course, from the international break, the Euro qualifiers, and of course, the friendly games are cascaded across. But not forgetting the Champions League, Women's Champions League games that will come up later tonight. So all these and more, guys, on the show promises to be exciting, pulsating, interactive, fun-filled, and most importantly, sporty pack. I'm not alone in the studio. I've got my right-hand man, my partner, my co-host, no other than the finest boy talking sports.
Reporting live on duty in the midweek edition. Today is Wednesday, the 27th day in the month of March 2024. My name is Franklin Imona, the one you love to call Uncle Fine Boy, cuz I am the finest uncle talking sports in the capital city and beyond. We are indeed ready to rumble. Last night over there in Marrakesh, Morocco wasn't a night that coach Finidi George would have loved, but such is football. Get your sporting seatbelt strapped on as well as your sporting helmet on. It promises to be a jolly good ride.
Okay, guys, I will go straight to the action. Where else to begin from? As always, from the newspaper review. Before we go to paper review, we've got another man in the studio.
Quite unusual.
Absolutely, especially during the sport
in the morning bits.
Absolutely. That is Johnson Makoji. You know him as Mr. J. Some call him MJ. Hello, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. And when something happens unusual, there's something that prompted.
Something was pushed you.
Exactly, and then you get to know what brought me on this morning.
Okay, guys, we go straight to the newspaper review.
The newspaper headlines.
Okay, where else begin from? We'll start off from our homegrown newspaper. We'll start off all the way from Complete Sports. And what is Complete Sports saying this morning? We'll start off, okay, this one is saying, allow Maino to grow at his own pace. Who is saying this? It's no other than Jude Bellingham is warning the England fans and, of course, the management. This one says, Paris 2024, we have to be our absolute best against Nigeria. It's coming from the Bayana coach. Murillo, Real Madrid prevented me from taking national team job. Get the newspaper to find out what he meant by that. And this one goes down to Super Eagles camp, I beg your pardon. Mali record first win against Super Eagles in 49 years. And of course, we hear this one, Super Eagles deserve more from Mali defeat. This coming from Captain Kenneth Omerwo. And for Ghana, this one says friendly. Ghana winless run continues after 2-2 draw against Uganda. Moving forward, this one going down to what's happening. We hear Doma United appoint Abubakar as new technical director. And of course, this one says Bayer Leverkusen celebrate Boniface's return to full training.
All right, we touched down a Vanguard newspaper as it has all these stories lined up for your listening pleasure. International friendly Eagles of Mali saw past the Super Eagles of Nigeria as the game ended 2-0. Brazil fight back to secure draw in 6-goal thriller with Spain. Such an exciting game yesterday. I was tied between the Super Eagles game and that of the Brazil-Spain game because it had so much action. Alright, so let's continue with the newspaper review. Euros 2024 qualifiers are the full teams that have all booked their place for the Mundial. Get your hands on Vanguard newspaper to find out. Modric sends war on Ukraine to Euros 2024. Finally, Chelsea's Modric has really shown his class, but not with Chelsea, rather with his national team. Fulkrug strike late to give Germany a 2-1 victory over Netherlands, and Bellingham slots last gap equalizer as England draw with Belgium. Nigeria can host the Commonwealth Games in 2030. Words of the sport minister. EPL, Chelsea preparing a £77 million bid for Victor Osimhen, who finds out if these will definitely materialize, and Germany regain hope ahead of Euros 2024. One man is speaking, their legend, Philipp Lahm. Brazil's Gabigol ended 2 years ban for anti-doping. And finally, racism reducing my desire to play football, says Brazil's Vinicius.
Okay, now moving on to Sporting Live. This one says Poland survive Wales challenge. Book Euros qualification. That's a good one. We hear also Ronaldo Fums as Portugal lose 2-0 to Slovenia. Hard fighting Ukraine book Euro 24 plays with wins over Iceland. Australia, Iraq advancing World Cup qualifier. For Madueke, he keeps scoring as he grabs brace in 7-0 win over Luxembourg. Talking about England on 21. Mohamed Papagararo is Aqua United new head coach. That one we said already. Birmingham rescue late draw for England against Belgium, and Brazil fight back to draw 3-3 in a thriller with Spain. International friendly Mali clip Super Eagles win in Marrakesh. A Swedish club loan out Ekpero, the man who plays for Nigeria. That's all from Sporting Life.
Touchdown upon Sports Extra. It has a picture of Victor Boniface been rated African best ahead of the likes of William Inaki, Mohamed Kudus, Andrea Yu, Okoye, and Victor Osimhen in Europe with a blistering 7.81 rating. Dalo snubs Onana. Ooh. Get your hands on upon Sports Extra to find out why. Falcons keeper confident of Bayana wins. Ex-Yellow Green captain Onikoye resigns. And in the world of boxing, Joshua hails African Games champion Mbata. Greenwood's £49.8 million fee scares suitors. City sweats over Walker ahead of Arsenal clash. Napoli ready to lower Osimhen price. It seems that Osimhen is destined not to play his football in Napoli come next season. And Dezis aims a dig at Pesaro. Ooh, okay. A Scotland-based keeper eyes Aimba. Eagles and Liverpool battle for Francesco Chiesa. Arsenal match Chelsea £51 million. Diamondes offer. This transfer market this summer is going to be very excited. That I can assure you.
Okay, guys, I will leave the newspaper review. That's how much we can take, and we'll go straight into the local scene.
News from the local scene.
Okay, where else we begin from? Let's start off from the Ministry of Youth Sport Development. I beg your pardon. Where the Minister of Sport Development, talking about Senator John Owen Eno, believes the country is fully equipped to host successful Commonwealth Games in 2030. Eno said this today, said it yesterday, I beg your pardon, while addressing the media in a post-All-Africa Game press conference at the media center of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. He argued that it's a black spot in African countries to have never hosted the Games, despite being a member since the inception in 1930.
Senator Eno commented participants.
The 2030 Commonwealth Games. That will be about 6 years away. And Nigeria is not the kind of country that will not have the infrastructure to host the games. When I spoke in Accra, I reminded the audience that we had hosted the African Games as far back as 2003. That we had hosted Chogom as well. This Commonwealth, we had some government meetings and all of that. So I don't think, while we have the challenge of infrastructure as a continuing problem from now, I'm not sure that in itself would ever have been a problem or ever be a problem for we to host the Commonwealth Games.
Also, we're here admitting that though he's not going to be in office at that time, but he's pushing for Nigeria to be the first African country to host the tournament, as he will support a proposal before the presidency to see how Nigeria can start in earnest the preparation for the hosting of the games in 2030. The sport minister also highlighted that 2024 was supposed to be a year where athletes prepare for the Olympics, but he said that the shifting event had a major shift and major tournament to participate in for the athletes, including the Olympic Games. Let's hear from the Minister of Sports Development speak about it.
The fact that 2024 was for the ministry and for the country a competition year. It wasn't ordinarily supposed to be so. It's become so because of the competitions that was supposed to have held last year. They couldn't go. Afcon was supposed to be last year. the African Games, which was last year. So all of that has started to be shifted to 2024. Late 2024 was just intended to just be an Olympic year. And now, beyond these two, there is Olympics coming, there is Paralympics coming. So it's good and important to underscore the state of the ministry and the state of sports, when we took over, and a few of the little accomplishments that both hard work and the grace of God has led us to achieve.
Okay, the Honorable Minister also stated that the Team Nigeria preparation for the next Africa game will start from now with a review of the outing in Accra. They just concluded as part of the first point of business. Also, he says that Team Nigeria had a strong outing in the All-Africa Games in Ghana, finishing second behind Egypt with 221 medals, comprising of 42 gold, 38 silver, and 41 bronze. Fine boy, come on. The minister talking tough, gleaning out his accolades, and I tell you, what a wonderful African game it was, and the fact that the man is already planning ahead.
Yesterday we were at the press briefing when he mentioned the plans for Africa to host the Commonwealth game, as well as giving accolade to the Team Nigeria for the impressive performance not yesterday at the just concluded All African Games. Indeed, it is good, as well as Team Nigeria beating the 45 gold medals mark. They won a total of 47 gold, and that's quite impressive. But for hosting the Commonwealth Games in 2030, it's going to be an Herculean task for Africa. Well, if we look at North Africa at the moment, they have what it takes at least to try to beat. But when it comes to hosting a world tournament as high as the Commonwealth game, is going to take a whole lot from the from the facilities to the pitches to the security.
Can Nigeria get it ready in 6 years?
I wonder. It's going to be quite tough. He was saying Africa is ripe to host, absolutely. And then he's looking at Nigeria as the host nation. It's going to take a whole lot. Looking at the difficulties the country is facing at the moment, we cannot. But in 2030, who says we can't? Years. But then he was quite unsure if he will be the one still in office come 2030, because of course a new government comes with new sets of ministers. But we hope and pray that his vision will come to pass. A win for Nigeria and African hosting the Commonwealth game is a win for our sport in general.
And to you, Jay, do you think we had a great outing? He's quite boisterous about the outing of Nigeria. Do you think we had a great outing? Very
fantastic, because we've broken the medals record in the past with this just concluded All African Games. What excites me most is his vision for Nigeria to host the 2030 Commonwealth game. And if you look at it, there's no reason why Nigeria shouldn't be able to host it, because look at Qatar 2022. They just concluded the last edition of the World Cup. Nobody will imagine that Qatar will be able to host the World Cup because of the weather, the natural circumstances. But then they have been able to do it. Nigeria have the same resources that Qatar has. If we are able to manage them well and we'll put good structures in plan, and then maintain continuity, I see no reason why Nigeria shouldn't be able to get the needed facilities to host the Commonwealth game. And now the major talking point for today, a fine boy. It was no news that the season could be over for one man, Moses Simon, after he was injured his knee during Nigeria Super Eagles' poor 2-0 loss to Eagles of Egypt. Eagles of Mali, I beg your pardon, on Tuesday night in an international friendly game in Marrakech, Morocco. The Nans of France winger was stretched off the pitch after colliding with the Malian goalkeeper in the 29th minute. The sad injury occurred a few after he should have leveled the scoreline 1-1. Alex Wobi had sent Moses Simon free on goal, but the winger overhit his first touch and had to collide with the goalkeeper. We know that Nigeria lost that game by 2-0 with one man, Bale Traore, scoring the opening goal, and Dumbia then made matters worse for the Super Eagles with a beautiful finish in the 84th minute to put the icing on the cake for Malians. Fine boy.
Sometimes I wonder if international friendlies is a blessing in disguise. Absolutely. Or a curse. Recall it was an international friendly as way back in 2021 that gave Victor Osimhen that life changing or life defining moment when he fractured his knee. He came back for another international friendly, and it's aggravated is a facial injury. Not forgetting the likes of Babatunde Michael, not forgetting a certain Peter Osaze after the World Cup, he came for a friendly and voila, he was out injured. Let's also not forget the likes of Sadiq Umaru, who was also injured in the last international break before the Afcon.
Yeah.
But then I really do not know. But injury is part of a football. Okay. It's part of the game. It's something that we cannot totally rule out. But come on, we hope he gets back early enough. The club FC Nantes needs him in France. Just when we are celebrating the return of Victor Boniface, and now Moses, a savior when it comes to departing the Red Sea for the Super Eagles, is out. It's not a good one for me. I wish him the quickest of recoveries.
Exactly, it was a turning point in that whole game yesterday, because in as much as Nigeria was performing or was underperforming, we still look forward to a player like Moses Simon to turn the game around for us. But unfortunately, it did happen the way it did. It's part of the game. Yeah. We wish him quick recovery, but then what we saw from the game just tells us that there is no second 11 in Nigeria Super yet.
Now, talking about the game, one man blamed the weather, he blamed the condition, and after blaming everything, he still went ahead to blame something again, which was the fact that he blamed the lack of strikers, availability of strikers team, pointing out for the fact that Nigeria created lots of chances, but they didn't go through. I think let me quote him here. He said, I think few mistakes cost us this match. It was not a bad game, good intensity. We had some good chances, but didn't score. In a game like this, if you fail to make use of your chances and made mistakes, you'll be punished for it. This is a team that kept the ball very well, but if we had our injured strikers available, we would have changed the one on the pitch immediately. Losing two strikers forced us to play wide, and as an aggressive team, we did all we can. And football is all about victory. Fine, boy.
The last time we suffered a defeat against Mali was 10 years ago.
8 years ago.
It's 2014, 10 years ago. And we lost 2-1 to the Carthage Eagles of Mali. I don't want to believe...
But this is in the championship, not really the main Super Eagles.
But when the two nations faced it was...
It's Super Eagles that played the game, so call it whatever you want.
But it's 49 years in a proper competition.
Exactly.
Then you don't have to rate this, because this is not competitive.
Okay, the last time they beat us was also in a friendly game where they beat us by 4-1.
That's why you should count this as well. It's a friendly, and it's going to affect our ranking.
The records as if that Mali has defeated the Super Eagles either in the Afcon, World Cup qualifiers, friendly or what have you.
That is it.
But then I do not want to put my full believe that Coach Finidi George is a sore loser. Indeed, we are not used to playing in the 9. This is not the Champions League. This is not the game we play in the 9s. This is a friendly, so we expected it to be much more of the data. Perhaps even more Nigerians saw that game, just like the one that we played against Ghana. It would have been a win. But
No. I beg to object you.
Do not object me. It is my point. And when it begins to blame the weather, begins to blame the likes of striker. Of course, the likes of striker is one thing. It was absolutely obvious that we lacked that man to transform those passes from the likes of Victor, from the likes of Alex Iwobi and others to convert it to a goal. It was a match that will lack striker. But come on, sometimes this is football. You need to make do with what you have and get the goods. But this time, Finidi fails.
Yeah. That is just the summary of
the whole
thing. He failed because when you say fine boy, when you are saying these people that they played in the night that Nigeria was not able to support them, no for me, because when you look at those players, most of them they are professionals, yes, and they play the Champions League or Europa League or Conference League, and most of those games are played in the night. Even in their regular leagues, there are midweek fixtures that made them to play in the night. So playing in the night for me is not a new thing.
Okay.
The fact is we still have a very big work in our hands.
Now, in 30 seconds, guys, has Finidi George done enough to state a claim for the Super Eagles job?
Ask him first.
But I'm saying you first. Has he done enough? 2 games, 1 win, 1 loss. About being sincere, the pattern of play looked quite enticing.
It looked quite enticing, but more enticing against Ghana.
So
that was probably because we have the players, the needed players. And the only thing I love in this is that we were able to test those fringe players. You understand, and newcomer. But
don't escape the job. 10 seconds. Has he done enough? Yes or no?
No.
Absolutely not. Ghana is not a big opponent for us. I'm telling you, we all know Ghana. Ghana has been very, very terrible in their last 5 games, both in the World Cup qualifiers, in the Afcon, and
they've not won a game in
even
a while
in the
now.
friendly they played yesterday. It was a draw against a middle nation. You can imagine. So Ghana is not a yardstick for us to say, okay, it's here to stay. He needs more tough games for us to actually give him the job.
Anyway, for the second consecutive time, Ghana has been announced as the host country for 2024 WAF Under 17 Championship. The West African country hosted the last edition in which Nigeria Golden Eagles emerged as the winner of the competition. The tournament will feature 7 countries, including Nigeria, Niger, Burkina Faso, Benin, Togo, Ivory Coast, and host Ghana. The WAFU Championship will also serve as qualifier for the Under 17 Africa Cup of Nations. We're running. We know that Doma United has appointed Bala Abubakar as its new technical advisor and has demoted the head coach. Talking about no other, the coach who was in charge as just to the head coach. So wait and see how much he can do for Doma United. Also, we know that Baganaru as well, we told you yesterday, has joined Aqua United for a rescue mission. To the Nigerian Women Football League games will continue today across match centers. We have Adamawa Queens taking on Nigeria Tels. That game at the Pantami Stadium in Gombe. Royal Queens will take on Confluence Queens. That's at the Sapele Stadium in Delta State. Heartland Queens will take on Abia Angels at the Dan Ayam Stadium in Owerri. Nasarawa Amazons will play Danas Ladies at the Lafia City Stadium close to us here in Nasarawa State. Bayelsa Queens Stars in Group B. Now we have Bayelsa Queens vs Remo Stars at the Samson Siasia Stadium. In Bayelsa, FC Robo Queens will take on Ekiti Queens at the Onikon Stadium in Lagos. Edo Queens vs Sunshine Stars at Samuel Obemudia Stadium in, and of course Rivers Angels, I beg your pardon, will host Delta Queens at the Yakubu Gawan Stadium in Delta Queens. But the big one for me, fine boy, is Nigeria Tels. They go to the Pantami Stadium in Gombe to play Adamawa Queens. Can they continue from where they stopped last time out when they beat Danas Ladies by 3-1 here at the Agui Ronsi Stadium?
Just like I said in the last time that there are ladies that actually won their game. I was banking for them and hope that that winner will propel them forward and getting the job done, even though their seats are far from the top 3 in terms of qualification for the Super 6. I believe they can get the job done. But I'm seeing a teke mene in this one. I'm seeing a draw in this game.
Okay, draw. JJ, you agree?
Well, in as much as
the only team in the FC team,
in
the top flight, male or female,
they are our pride in this.
They must stay up. We help them.
It's a must. But then, will a draw be enough for them?
I think it will be a good result.
It will be a good result, but will it be enough for them? It depends on what other results might be. So I expect them to go there and win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now to Europe quickly. Let's go straight right now to the foreign scene.
Let's take you to the foreign scene.
Fine boy, it's official. Georgia will be in their first ever Euro 2024. They knocked out Greece on penalty shootout after a goalless draw. Wales dumped out. They were dumped out by Poland on penalty shootout after a goalless draw. And for Ukraine, that man Mikhailo Modric from Chelsea, but they decided going in 4 minutes to ensure that Ukraine beat Iceland by 2-1. We now know the teams that will be playing in Euros.
Congratulations to Skricha Kvaratskhelia with that last kick in the penalty shootout to send his nation to their first ever Euros competition. Quite an historical moment for this player. Indeed, the whole nation of Georgia should be celebrating. If I were the president, I would declare a 2 days public holiday. Let's just go and celebrate. Yes, 2 days is enough. The third day they get back to work after working for the
Captain Fantastic, Brasilia.
He showed his class.
Absolutely.
And indeed, Poland in the last World Cup.
But I'm surprised that Wales nullified them. With all the Lewandowski.
Was it in that game?
It was Lewandowski was there.
It was there, okay.
Yeah, it's called a decisive penalty.
But it doesn't matter. But then one thing that matters, is that the likes of Poland actually show their class against Wales. When it comes to major competition, Wales have been wobbling and stumbling, but Poland is much more experienced when it comes to playing games like this. Recall in the last World Cup, it was Portugal, and in the last Euros, it was Portugal that knocked them out of a penalty shootout in the quarterfinals. So I see Poland as a team that, though have qualified, will go far if Wales had qualified.
Jay, we know that England played a 2-2 draw, and they had to wait for a late strike from Jude Bellingham to help them, if I use that word, to get a draw, and that 2-2 against Belgium. For Brazil, what a spectacle. 3-3 draw against Spain at the Santiago Bernabeu in Spain.
A very big one. What else can I say? When you are looking forward to see a game of football and you are fortunate to watch that one, you will see that these are two nations that are two great footballing nations.
Did you see Lukaku?
They
pass.
that he can,
that he can play the Premier League.
That assist. The assist.
Wow.
The assist alone.
Exquisite.
Honestly,
yeah.
But I don't know how England were playing the game. Is it because are they like Nigeria that they don't have second 11 with all the class?
Kobe Mino got the man of the match.
Well deserved,
well
deserved. But the player I still rate very, very highly is Jude Bellingham. He can't just stop scoring, and not just scoring important goals for.
I thought we were to say Declan Rice, who captained the team.
That was a class as well. Declan Rice, his first outing, didn't lead Three Lions to exactly to failure. So to me,
so a 2-2 draw is a fair result.
It's a fair result. It's first time out.
Okay. Anyway, guys, come on, time is not our friend. Quickly from Formula 1, we heard Aston Martin will not appeal Spaniard penalty. Talking about Alonso's penalty after he crashed with George Russell in the Australian Grand Prix. And from the Miami Open, latest comment is that Carlos Alcaraz, not forgetting Jannik Sinner and Medvedev are through to the next round of the Miami Open. Alcaraz beating Italian Lorenzo Musetti 6-3, 6-3. Sinner winning his game against Christopher O'Connor 6-4, 6-3. While of course Medvedev beating Dominic Kofa 7-6, 6-love. Final word, fine boy. And don't forget, 4 p.m. more of the sporting gist coming their way.
Exactly. It will be a day like never before. 4 p.m. we will be back on the show Sport Lounge to talk sport. And one thing that I want us to really look at is that these hooliganism, drugs in football. We hear that Angel Di Maria have been sent a death threat over his return to Rosario Center. We saw this with the likes of Darwin Nunez, father, who was kidnapped.
Luis
Diaz, I thank for that correction, and not Darwin Nunez, whose father that was released. And also we saw the case between Ronaldinho and some drug cartel. What's happening with South America
again,
football with bad reports? All this and many more will be back when we come back by the 4 p.m. hour on the show.
Okay, for me, the Sport Bishop and the Finance by Talking Sports, we are done.
And we are gone.
God bless.
No stress.
Adios. Back by 4 p.m.